Today we are going to talk about whether or not Kyler Murray is able to play in the NFL or Major League Baseball or both, and all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider it a like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today we are going to talk about Kyler Murray's decision on whether or not to play in the NFL, Major League Baseball, or both. Well, in the San Francisco Chronicle, Susan Slusser put the kibosh on that. She has a source with knowledge that says that the A's will make Kyler choose between playing in the NFL or playing Major League Baseball. And at the end of that, it's also most NFL teams would say, hey, you're going to have to play quarterback if you're going to go to the NFL. There is no option for you to play professional baseball and professional football. It's either or. Now, there's lots of things that come into play here. One is he has been invited to baseball training camp on February 15th. But even before that, he has just a few days left to decide whether or not he's going to declare early for the draft. Now, to my research, you have to declare an intention to declare early in the NFL draft to be selected in the 2019 NFL draft. So there's not really a back door here for which a team could just say, forget it, I'm just going to draft him anyway. I don't care whether or not he declared early or not. The league was smart to leave themselves some leeway here, saying that its player personnel staff have to work with scouts, teams, colleges, and all the necessary people to make sure that this person would basically play in the NFL if he was drafted and given the opportunity. It's kind of like what they're doing with the Hall of Fame, which is, hey man, you're not going to make us look bad if we put you in the Hall of Fame and do the Chattanooga like Terrell Owens did. So now we know that Kyler's going to have to make a decision. But there is another option on the table that not a lot of folks want to talk about, which is pro baseball and college football. Now, the way that that would work, though, is tricky because he would be invited to spring training camp basically in the middle of the spring semester. You need to be enrolled in college to play college football. So there is a place perhaps where he could re-enroll for the fall semester to play college football again. But that's a lot, and that's a very bad PR look to say, hey, I went to go play pro baseball, now I want to go back to college so that I can play football. I don't think anybody else would care if it wasn't Kyler Murray and he wasn't this highly regarded. And there's all this static around him because you're going to turn down millions of dollars in the NFL, or you're going to turn down millions of dollars in baseball so that you can play college football, or you're going to do this so that you can play college football and pro baseball so you can have your cake and eat it too that way. I think that the longer that this is drawn out, the more it looks bad for Kyler, as bad as it could look at least, because he's the Heisman Trophy winner, and he is one of the best quarterbacks in the game today at his age. It's really just him, Dwayne Haskins, Will Grier. That's who you're talking about when you're talking about drafting a quarterback in 2019. And there's lots of folks that believe he would go in the first round. So he's looking at really good guaranteed money. So the money he would have to give back for being drafted by the Oakland A's is inconsequential because he's going to make that tenfold over the next 5 to 7 years if he went to go play in the National Football League. However, the more that we think about this, the more it's becoming clear that Kyler just wants to be able to play both, and he's not going to be able to do that. And I get that there are folks that are like, let the kid do what he wants to do. Well, there are consequences to doing what you want to do. There are consequences for saying, hey, I want to be able to do everything all at once, where you're not going to be very good at doing everything all at once. That's what the Oakland Athletics and NFL teams are saying. We get that you are a generational talent, but you are not Bo Jackson and you are not Deion Sanders. Not because you're not as athletically gifted, but because you're a quarterback. It's different. You have to be so invested in what you're doing, not just the playbook, not just catching up as a rookie quarterback, but you become the franchise. You become the face of the organization. You become their Aaron Rodgers, their Tom Brady. It ain't like that for Bo Jackson or Deion Sanders. Even when both of those guys were the best at what they did, they're still not quarterbacks. There's only one of those on the field. You can have 3-4 running backs on the field if you want to. There's one quarterback. I understand why teams, particularly the Oakland Athletics, want to know, are you going to poop or get off the pot? Because this is getting out of hand. We wanted you to play college football. We put that into the contract. We were trying to be cool. We were trying to be nice. And now he's yanking on him again, or at least that's how it seems, because he's not talking. And the more that he's not talking, the more folks like me are going to be talking, the more radio hosts, sports analysts, Twitter is going to have what it has to say. Also, what does Lincoln Riley think about all of this is very interesting to me, because with Jalen Hurts now in play, you really want an answer from Kyler Murray about what you're going to do at the quarterback position. Now, you're also sitting pretty, you would think, because Austin Kendall's there, but if Austin Kendall decides to up and transfer on you, you're stuck playing Tanner Mordecai or Spencer Rattler, and that's not a bad thing, but you don't want to turn the keys over to a guy who's not as mature in the offense to run the team when you have a really good shot at getting back to the college football playoff because you return so many players, and you don't want that wasted on somebody who's still learning how to play the position. As I've said, and I will say again, there's only one Trevor Lawrence. You're only going to get that dude at Clemson. And you saw even Tua Tagovailoa has his shortcomings. So I really am interested to see what Kyler Murray decides to do. But it's looking more and more like the NFL to me, because I've talked with a bunch of folks who, if he did come back, they'd be surprised that he did. These are folks around the program. These are folks in the NFL. And these are folks that are in baseball, just kind of reaching out with text messages and asking different questions about what do you think and how do you think it. The money on the table is just too big to turn down. He is an outstanding quarterback, and everything that I've laid out in previous videos says that he's going into the NFL. But if he's not, be here to talk about it. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.